War is destruction, but paradoxically, it's also one of history's most powerful engines of innovation. From bronze swords to quantum encryption, conflict has shaped the trajectory of human technology more than any other force. Today, we are diving into history of how warfare doesn't just change borders but drives science, accelerates innovation, and sometimes reshapes civilization itself. In ancient times, survival depended on superiority in arms. The Bronze Age marked one of the first great leaps in military technology. Stronger tools and weapons meant stronger armies and stronger societies. The Hittites pioneered iron smelting, not for agriculture, but for weapons. The Assyrians innovated siege engines. The Romans developed military engineering on a vast-scale roads, forts, ballistae designed for logistics and domination. In ancient China, the invention of the repeating crossbow and gunpowder was rooted in military experimentation long before civilian adaptation. War was the crucible in which science was tested. The introduction of gunpowder to the battlefield in the late medieval period was transformative. It shifted power away from the feudal knight and toward centralized states capable of producing artillery. Siege warfare evolved rapidly. Cannons rendered castles obsolete. Handheld firearms began to change infantry tactics forever. This technological shift wasn't just military, it helped birth the modern state. Monarchies that could afford standing armies and armories gained power over local lords, accelerating the centralization of governance and eventually the rise of the nation-state. The Industrial Revolution brought mechanization to war. Steam engines, mass production, and chemical engineering changed everything. Railroads allowed rapid troop deployment across continents. The Gatling gun and early machine gun foreshadowed the horrors of modern trench warfare. Naval warfare transformed with the introduction of ironclads and later submarines. Even communication changed. The telegraph, initially a military tool, revolutionized command and control, allowing leaders to direct operations from far behind the lines. The First and Second World Wars pushed science to its limits. World War I saw the first use of tanks, chemical weapons, aerial combat, and coordinated communications networks. It also marked the beginning of modern military medicine. Blood banks, plastic surgery, and prosthetics all advanced dramatically. World War II was even more transformative. The Manhattan Project created nuclear weapons. Radar and sonar changed the nature of detection and defense. Computers were developed to calculate ballistic trajectories. Alan Turing's work at Bletchley Park laid the foundation for modern computing. Wartime research spilled over into the civilian world. Jet engines, synthetic materials, antibiotics, many technologies we now take for granted were accelerated by war. The Cold War was an arms race, but also a technological race. The competition between the United States and the Soviet Union brought about breakthroughs with global impact. The space race was military in origin. Ballistic missile technology directly enabled spaceflight. The first satellites were used for reconnaissance and communications. Nuclear deterrence also drove innovation in control systems, artificial intelligence, and remote sensing. The United States Department of Defense's ARPANET project, developed for secure communication, eventually evolved into the Internet. In trying to avoid total war, the Cold War created the infrastructure of our digital world. Today, the frontiers of war are virtual, robotic, and biological. Drones conduct targeted strikes with remote operators. Algorithms assist in real-time decision-making. Artificial intelligence is being deployed for surveillance, intelligence gathering, and even autonomous targeting. Cyber warfare now targets power grids, elections, and financial systems, not just tanks and troops. In 2010, the Stuxnet virus, allegedly deployed by the United States and Israel, set back Iran's nuclear program without a single bomb being dropped. Meanwhile, biotechnology and neuroscience are opening new possibilities from enhanced soldiers to cognitive warfare. The ethical boundaries of war tech are now being tested in real time. Throughout history, war has been a brutal but effective catalyst for technological progress. Many of the conveniences and capabilities we rely on today, from the internet to GPS to advanced medicine, have roots in military innovation. But as we face a future shaped by artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and space militarization, we must ask, will the next wave of innovation be guided by the needs of conflict or the pursuit of peace? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history of war and innovation, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think the next war will invent?